Drivers, start your engines.
34 race cars roar to life. The 144th Fighter Wing of the Air National Guard roars overhead, welcoming you to Monterey, California and the American Le Mans Series.
The eyes have it. The eyes of the world's finest road racers are focusing on one goal. Decision time looms in the American Le Mans Series. Today opens the home stretch of the 2003 season. 3 races remain to settle 4 championships between Audi and Lola, Corvette, Ferrari, and Porsche. It's round 7 of the American Le Mans Series, and it's next on NBC Sports.
Welcome to Mazda Raceway, Laguna Seca, the Monterey Peninsula of California. Today, coverage of the Prize Electronics Sports Car Championships, part of the American Le Mans Series. You're on NBC Sports with Bill Adam. I'm Rick Benjamin, welcoming you to Southern California. Great to be here with you today. Let's show you the 4 categories of cars will do battle here.
The top class, the LMP 900s, the most exotic and fastest sports cars in the world. These cars have almost 700 horsepower. Look at some of the acceleration numbers, just staggering performance. Now, slightly below them is their smaller brethren, the 675s. They weigh about 400 pounds less. They cost a little bit less, but they can go just as fast under the right conditions. Then we turn to the production-based categories, the cars that most closely resemble those you find on the street. Ferrari and Corvette's having a great battle this year. These are strong machines, 700 plus horsepower, and right below them, the GT class, the smaller cars, the Porsches, the Ferraris, the ones that you dream about owning. And even though they look like the street cars, as you see, they're a lot faster.
Qualifying key here this weekend, as always, a terrific battle at the front of the grid among the prototypes, the 900s and the 675s. Even a few surprises. Let's take a look now at some of the cars and drivers who will start at the head of the grid today at Laguna Seca.
Hi, I'm Frank Bieler from Germany, and I'm in car number 1, the Infineon Used Audi, and my co-driver is Marco Werner.
I'm Butch Weisinger from Rebersburg, Pennsylvania, driver of the number 16 MG Lola. My teammate is the lovely and talented James Weaver.
Hi, my name is JJ Lehto, and I come from Espoo, Finland. I drive for ADT champion Audi car number 38, and my co-driver is Johnny Herbert.
With the prototypes, the question coming into each race weekend is which class will be the fastest. There's an intense rivalry between the larger 900s and the smaller, more nimble 675s. James Weaver may have put it best when he said, we have to have corners higher than 120 miles an hour to show our stuff. With the average corner here being less than 100, this weekend, advantage swings to 900s.
Hi, my name's Andy Wallace. I'm from Oxford in England. I drive the number 20 Dyson Racing Thetford Norcold Lola. My co-driver is Chris Dyson.
Hi, I'm John Field from Dublin, Ohio. I'll be driving the number 37 MG Lola, and my co-driver will be the very fast Duncan Dayton.
Hi, I'm David Salons. I'm from Brussels, Belgium, and I'm sharing my number 10 Panos car with Olivier Beretta this weekend.
I'm Brian the Ugly, and I co-drive with Jeff the Wicked Fast and Chris the Time Traveler in the Dark Dog Team Bucknam Racing 56 LMP 675. I hail from Seattle, Washington.
Hi, my name is Clint Field. I'm from Dublin, Ohio. Driver the number 30 Intersport Lola, and my co-driver is Rick Sutherland.
Hi, my name's Tommy Dreesy. I'm from Hollywood, California. I drive the number 12 Amerisweets LMP 900. My co-driver is Mike Lewis.
Hi, my name is David Braddon, and I'm from Earth, and I drive for the ProDrive Ferrari, and my co-driver is Jan Magnussen.
Hi, I'm Sascha Maaßen from Germany. I'm driving the 23 Porsche with Lucas Luer.
In GTS, the Ferrari and Corvette battle continues to dominate. Laguna, though, is the one racetrack that still resists Corvette's assault. In 4 years, they've always come up short. Defending champions of the ProDrive Ferrari team, they blitzed the Corvettes in practice and had their maiden season win 2 weeks ago at Road America. They look all but impregnable, so though the Corvette drivers want to win, they may have to concentrate on their inter-team battle for the championship instead.
As we show you the rest of the 34 car starting lineup today, Namazenga, Peter Cox starting 11th. The two Corvettes behind, and Bill, the Corvettes are focused really on the points championship.
They have to be at this point because they've done really well this season, and even though the battle looks against them, they have troubles today.
Very challenging, very interesting traditional road circuit here. Let's take a ride around our Yokohama course description and Johnny Herbert.
Start of the lap now, 140 as we go under the bridge. Now watching that Porsche, we've really got to sort of be careful where he's going to be on the track. So breaking down into turn one, into second gear, trying to kiss on those curbs, keeping as tight as we can on the left, washing the car out onto the curb on the right-hand side, watching that car in front, just sort of looking what he's doing, using the curb, accelerating past him, trying to get back on the racing line in fourth gear now, right-hander, turn four, accelerating now down the long straight, so we have to get out of that corner as cleanly as possible, braking from sixth down to second or third gear, accelerating through, trying to visualize now the track coming up under that bridge. A bit of a compression now on this left-hander, get a lot of extra grip as we go through that, washing wide. Now we've got blue sky here coming towards the corkscrew, go down, now the blue skies here, can't see the corner at all, so you brake very hard into second gear, aim for that tree dead in front, washing the car through again. Now we've got another car in front, so you're trying to watch him as well as watching the track, using that curb. And you can see there's three there in front. Now this right-hander, a lot of compression again. Now you can see the cars. Now it's very hard to really work out where you want to be on the track because they're trying to race themselves. Now we get second gear. I've lost probably about 3 seconds on that lap. Accelerating out now past the Porsche, coming up to the start-finishing line, 140 miles an hour.
The ADT champion Audi team, 2 wins on the season, including a couple of weeks ago at Road America. One team not able to take the starting green flag here today. One of the two Paynoses yesterday in final practice had problems in the corkscrew, Bill.
He did as he came down the hill, just got under power a fraction too early, an extremely hard impact to the wall. This car will be rebuilt for Miami, but certainly cannot make this race.
So Ben Lewinberger and Gunnar Jeanette will not take the green flag today in car number 11. The tub was cracked in that impact. And part of the ADT champion team, they've had a scramble this morning, haven't they?
While Johnny Herbert was on track in the morning warm-up, he smelt burning in the ignition system and the dashboard lighting went out. He said, I've got a problem, I'm coming into the pits. A wire had chafed and the electrical fire broke out just as he brought the car onto pit lane. In the nick of time, they've managed to cut out and replace a section of wiring loom, and the car will start, hopefully, as normal.
And they will grid that car in third position inside the second row. We're glad to have you with us, Bill Keys, today. It's a slick racetrack and heavy traffic here.
Very, very slick. I think it's a real nightmare for tire engineers, both Goodyear and Michelin alike, because of the surface is so slippery with the sand that blows across it. But I think the real key today is going to be the ability to get through traffic. As you saw Johnny Herbert's in-car lap, traffic can get you at the worst possible places, and it can cost you 3 or 4 seconds in a heartbeat.
Well, Frank Biela, Marco Werner in car number 1, the silver Yost Audi on the pole alongside the smaller 675 prototype from Rob Dyson's stable, James Weaver, Butch Leitzinger. They have 1 overall win, our first NBC broadcast of the year. The Audi breaks first as they come to the green.
Boy, really a surprise there. He almost laid back deliberately to try and jump the start, and in fact, he got away with it. I'm surprised they dropped a lot of tire smoke.
Heavily on the brakes down into turn 2. Some contact in there. We've got a couple of cars around. That looks like the Banana Joe's car, the black number 30, locking them up.
I agree. I think that is the Riley Scott. It looks like they all got back underway. The leaders did get through safely, but one of the compression factors when everybody is under brake to turn 1 just caught somebody out.
Clint Field and Rick Sutherland making their first start in that black Riley and Scott car. And look at this. The 2 Audis are out in front. Number 1, the Biela Warner car away first. The ADT champion 38 for J.J. Leto and Johnny Herbert in second spot.
That's a bit of a surprise. I thought that the smaller car would really be able to jump them off the start earlier this year. Oh, and there you have it, double yellow. So we're going to get a pace car immediately to try and clean this up.
The number 20, the Dyson car of James Weaver, of Andy Wallace in that car, along with Chris Dyson off in the sand. Let's take a look at turn 2. 3 wide in there.
Oh, man.
That's the Dark Dog 675 prototype of Jeff Bucknam's team, the yellow car that you see that got off in the or in the sand here, not the grass. And it was their car. Looks like it locked up the brakes on the outside.
You know, and I wonder if they can get going now because maybe there isn't too much damage.
And you can see the 20 car, Chris Dyson, Andy Wallace. Yellow flag already in the air down at turn 2.
Now let's just see what damage is done. Because remember, earlier this year, we've seen this car start basically from the back of the grid twice. and it has come through to 2 very, very strong finishes. So doesn't necessarily mean it's a huge problem.
Full course caution. They're going to have to get the wrecker there to pull the 20 car out of the sand. This is at the end of the front straightaway. They call turn 1 here that little kink, and this is turn 2.
Yeah, now watch the Corvette on the left, right up in there, and just keep your eye on that part of the track. See right there, a Ferrari gets into contact with the number 20 car, and he is around. A Corvette able to make it off the gravel on the outside there.
So contact right away, a big scramble. We talked a moment ago at the top of the broadcast. 4 races within 1. There are 4 championships at stake in the American Le Mans Series as we get down to the final 3 races. Everybody pushing very hard in lap 1. Chris Dyson's car being retrieved, and as Bill said, there have been a couple of times this year when they've started from deep on pit road after having to make repairs. On board, one of the Porsches in GT, the P.T.A. Sport car.
Just to give you an idea, you see Dyson's car already off the outside of the track, the Riley and Scott on the inside, Corvette trying to scrabble through. This gives you an idea of how quickly you must make the proper choice at a time like that.
So 1 lap on the board, full course caution. Biela in the 1, Johnny Herbert in the 38, running 1-2, James Weaver, Olivier Beretta in the Panos, and John Field making up your top 5. We'll be back at Laguna Seca.
Keep our highways beautiful. The 911 Carrera.
One of the beautiful things about women is they don't sweat or smell like a guy. Our body chemistry is just different.
Introducing Arm & Hammer Ultramax Antiperspirant Gel.
It's made for a man's body chemistry.
Ultramax stops odor at the source. So strong, tests show it offers superior odor protection versus the leading gel at 8, 12, even 24 hours.
It's all the muscle a man needs.
New Arm & Hammer Ultramax Gel.
Designing an all-season tire to outperform performance tires wasn't rocket science. Then again, maybe it was. Pilot Sport AS. Our most advanced Z-rated tire ever.
Now buy 4 Michelin tires and get a free JVC DVD player. Visit your Michelin dealer today. Offer ends September 27.
Michelin, because so much is riding on your tires.
Our NBC Sports coverage of the American Le Mans Series, the Fry's Electronic Sports Car Championships, being brought to you today by Porsche for the pure sport of driving, and by Michelin because so much is riding on your tires. Back at Mazda Raceway, Laguna Seca here on NBC Sports, coverage of the Fry's Electronics Sports Car Championships with Bill Adam. I'm Rick Benjamin. We welcome you to the Monterey Peninsula. 7th race of the season for the American Le Mans Series, and Bill, already big action going into the first corner.
Always a problem. Everybody wants to try and get through, and it's kind of like an NFL running back. You see this big mass of people in front. How do you get through? And unfortunately, the Dyson car really took the bad shot there.
Some drivers thought they had room to get through. It turned out not to be that way. Several cars have gone to pit road. Let's get the latest. First, Jan Beekes.
Well, we thought for a moment that the 3 car of Oliver Gavin would be here on pit road. There was a mad scramble. They got the tires over the pit wall, thinking he might have a puncture after seeing the contact there with the Ferrari. It turns out that they, in fact, did not have a puncture, so it's good news for the 3 car. I'm not so sure about ProDrive. Martin?
Yeah, big question mark. They're asking Jan Magnussen, how does the 80 car feel with that damaged nose? Well, behind the safety car, he can't really tell them. So do they let him go and find as soon as we go green that it's undrivable? Do they bring him in now and take the pill in the first minutes of the race? I know what my choice would be, but maybe that's why I'm a pit reporter and not a team boss. We'll wait and see on this one.
Well, when they see that car come by, Bill Adam, I would have to think they'd want to bring him to pit road because it looks as though the splitter could be damaged. Yeah. Aerodynamically, the car certainly took a big impact.
It will have a huge aerodynamic effect here, and ultimately in the long run, that's going to affect cooling and tire wear in the front end. Now, it's a little bit dark right there. Really can't tell, but it looks like that left front corner of the splitter may have damage on it. That's the most critical thing with this car. The bodywork, they could almost tear that corner off, like tear that whole piece off the car. And yes, it hurts a little bit, but not hugely. If the splitter is damaged, the piece that actually channels airflow under the car, that will play a huge part.
one of the prettiest parts of California. We're kind of in mid-California here, but this racetrack has very short straightaways, so the high speeds that you see at places like Road America, not as much of an issue. Martin Haven.
Yeah, guys, they're just saying that for what they can see on camera and what Jan's saying, the splitter is not damaged, so we've gone green now. They think the bumper will stay or fall off, but either way, it doesn't make too much difference.
Back underway, green flag back in the air, the two Audis out in front. Car number 1 with Frank Bielis starting. Marco Werner will join him in that car. The 38, Johnny Herbert, making the first into the ADT champion Audi. They come off the win at Road America a couple of weeks ago, the Road America 500. They took advantage of a bad pit stop by the Yost team.
Yeah, they felt good about that. Finally, they thought that some luck was coming their way, because it seems they have only had bad luck so many times this year. Johnny Herbert really does want to do a good job here as well. We're looking a little further back here. There's the GT battle. There's one Ferrari, two Ferraris, and then that Corvette. That's the Ron Fellows, Johnny O'Connell Corvette. Wow, the lead car right off the track.
That GTS battle between Ferrari and Corvette has raged all season long. Thomas Inga in car number 88. He and Peter Cox, two of the Europeans. Of course, they had the victory in the 24 Hours of Le Mans in that Pro Drive Ferrari earlier this summer. The Corvettes lead the American Le Mans Series Championship, but Corvette has yet to win in 4 tries here at this racetrack. Corvette right now, Ron Fellows in car number 3, third in GTS. Jan Magnussen, David Brabham pairing in the other Pro Drive car, the number 8.
One other point here, too, just right behind them, look at the green Olive Garden Ferrari. They have had a spectacular weekend. 1.5 seconds off the pole. That is the closest they have made it all year long. And that was really without the services of Mimo Scattarella, who had, unfortunately, medical problems all week, and he won't even be in the car today.
Saw Mimo this morning. He has kidney stones. Felt like he wanted to drive, but team doctors persuaded him that the pain that can come with a kidney stone at times, it would be too much of a risk to put him in the car today. So Bill Oberlin, who's very accomplished in the American Le Mans Series, will be the co-driver today with Emmanuel Naspetti in that 0 car. Oberlin's terrific, especially here. He has experience with that team, Bill.
A little further back, too. Now, here is Timo Bernhard. He's leading the class, one of the Alex Job cars. He is just ahead of actually Craig Stanton running second right now, and that's Sasha Maassen, his own teammate, back in 3rd place. So a good battle in GT already, also with these Porsches. Now, Ferrari, too, have had a pretty decent weekend, although they're not really in the hunt right now. They have been quite competitive in this track. Here's a challenge. Maassen up the inside, gets 2nd place.
In GT, that battle, we're riding with one of the Porsches in GT. This is Robin Liddell in the P.T.A Sport number 60. He's 4th in the category, up the hill, heading toward the left hand.
Pirelli tires, up ahead, Michelin tires.
And the tire battle between those two manufacturers is an epic one. It's very important to the teams and the tire companies.
This is a great view. Here's the corkscrew. Just take a look and listen.
Telemetry on board the Liddell car.
Tremendous elevation changes here at this racetrack. We're going steeply downhill right now. Look at this compression that Johnny Herbert talked about. Now we finally level out for a very brief moment. You see, this is flat ground through the last turn that comes out of the start-finish straight, slowest corner on the track. And here is the only true straight on the track.
And it's pretty short.
It's way short.
Guys, we're on board with what is now basically the Pirelli tyre test bed. The P.T.A car, they've drafted in ex-Formula 1 ace Alex Caffey to try and give themselves a really solid driver lineup alongside Robin Liddell. And Pirelli really concentrating on the performance of this car, their best challenger against the Michelins, to try and engineer some more success into their tyres. And just ahead of them, Craig Stanton, we're talking about illness. He had an appendix removed last Friday, and he's back in the race car already. These guys are super tough. We talk about it all the time, but really, the doctor said he shouldn't be doing any exercise for about a fortnight. He said, I'm back in the car on Wednesday, and he was.
Talked to Craig earlier this weekend. He said he felt pretty good.
Yeah, he did. He looked really good. And, you know, talking along this line, too, I talked with Mimo Scattarella just before the race. He almost had tears in his eyes. The team was keeping him out of the car, putting Bill Oberlin. He said, no, I'm fine. It only hurts a little bit. He was desperate to get back in that car and race it.
Watching the number 31, Craig Stanton at the wheel, 3rd in GT. Behind the two Alex Job Porsches, Timo Bernhard has the 24 at the head of this class. Sasha Maassen with the 23 runs in 2nd spot. This is the 3rd place car. Stanton, this is part of a terrific driver lineup of the 31. Johnny Mollum, an international star from Ireland, will take this car over later. We'll be back with more at Laguna Seca.
Everyone wants to be a winner. That's why racers choose Sunoco, the world's largest manufacturer of racing gasolines and official fuel of more than 400 tracks. Racers win with Sunoco. Track tested, street smart.
Introducing the all-new rotary-powered Mazda RX-8.
If it's for the home, if it's for the office, if it's for life, it's at Fry's. Get this 17-inch CRT monitor for only $49.99 after mail-in rebate. Linksys wireless beam media adapter is now $179.99. This Hewlett-Packard 1-megapixel digital camera is a low $49.99. Remember, your best buys are always at Fry's. Guaranteed.
Introducing the all-new rotary-powered Mazda RX-8.
The world's most daring adventure athletes test their limits in the treacherous Ford Adventure Sport Challenge. Coverage begins next Saturday, 3:30 Eastern, NBC.
Welcome back. More of the American Le Mans Series, the Fry's Electronic Sports Car Championships here on NBC Sports. A look at beautiful Point Lobos State Reserve, one of the many wonderful places to visit if you're in the Monterey Peninsula. Tracy Wolfson joins us here this weekend. We sent her to Oakland to check on the Children's Hospital and Research Center's Think First program.
Even with their hectic racing schedules, the American Le Mans Series drivers always find time to reach out to the community. Drivers Duncan Dayton and Spencer Pompelli made a pit stop at the Children's Hospital and Research Center at Oakland to remind kids to think first when it comes to safety. The children had a chance to check out the cars, meet the drivers, and get their autographs. And most importantly, each child received a bicycle helmet, so they remember to not only have fun, but think first.
Terrific action all around this beautiful race course in the Monterey Peninsula. Laguna Seca, Mazda Raceway Laguna Seca, your Porsche aerial cam, giving you a sense of just how gorgeous this is. Let's check in on the battle in the GT category. Timo Bernhard leads the class right now, but behind him, the battle for second, third, and fourth. Watch this, nose to tail. There's the 60 car, very much in the hunt. That's the P.T.A Sport car with Robin Liddell. The Ferrari, Anthony Lazzaro, the Calpont Ferrari very much in the mix as well. The two Alex Job cars swapping the top two spots. There's the 31, Greg Stanton. That's the car from the Peterson Motorsports squad up ahead. Bill, these cars really put on a terrific show.
They do. They have really been having a good battle. Lazzaro also in that red Ferrari, the third car in your picture right there. He has really been making a charge here the last few laps. So doing a very nice job.
Yes,
going inside.
Liddell, he's going for third spot. And he gets by.
Nicely, no contact there at all. Well done. That was a good late braking maneuver. Now he's got a set of sights on the next car up the road.
Liddell had passed him earlier on that lap. Lazzaro just took the spot by. Jan Beekes, the GT category being closely watched by many here this weekend.
Yes, including the head of motorsport strategy for Porsche, Dr. Walliser. Doctor, we know that you have a great history, Porsche, in American Le Mans. What about the future?
Well, we are looking here and like to have American Le Mans good prospering and have a good sport here on the grid, and I hope that we have also a future with American Le Mans. That's the reason why we are here.
Can you tell us a bit about the new 911 you might be able to introduce for next season?
Well, as we do it always, we did some engineering on the car and did some slightly modification so that we can be competitive also for next year.
All right, thank you very much.
Right behind Dr. Walliser, the 24 Alex Job car has just come on the pit lane. We heard radio reports a while ago they were having an alternator warning light come on, and they will be changing the alternator. This is not going to be a short stop. This will be a long stop.
Timo Bernhard had the lead early in GT, Bill, the first couple of laps. 17 laps in, they give up the lead and probably a chance to win.
Yeah, they do. They must be giving up their hearts right now, too, because they've run into a lot of bad luck this year, and it's got to just get them down. I mean, you see their teammate Sasha Massa look, oh, great! Johnny Herbert just got hit right there by the Dyson car.
James Weaver, car number 16. That's the blue and white MG Lola up in front from the Dyson stables, the Thetford Norcold car. He has gotten by to take second back from Herbert.
And you saw how desperate Dyson was. I'm sorry, the Dyson car right there just kicked up a little bit of dirt. They got so close to the edge of the road. The Audis are strong. That impact probably didn't damage anything on this R8 Audi, but that was very close. You saw Johnny whip the wheel back and catch the slide that had been set up by the impact.
Swinging by one of the Pro Drive GTS Ferraris, heading to the corkscrew. There's Weaver in the 16. They have one overall win this year. First time we were with you at Infineon Raceway in Sears Point, California. They surprised everyone and made history in the American Le Mans Series. First ever prototype win and overall win for a 675 category car. The all-dominant Audis back on the button since then. Weaver and Butch Leitzinger think they can win with this car, though.
Well, I wouldn't want to get into a shoving match with the Audi.
No.
They still are relatively weak car. I mean, anything is relatively weak compared to the R8. They have just been remarkable. Here is a replay. Look at the Porsche.
Craig Stanton sliding off turn 3.
And you know what? That was Craig. That I blamed Weaver. I thought it was as he was passing James. James had nothing to do with that at all. That was just an impact with the Porsche. Here is Weaver's car getting an idea of just what goes on. James goes down the inside. They're going by at 3 wide at that point. That's what it was.
Herbert was trying to pass on the outside going into that corner, which is a right-hander.
It could easily have been something as simple as Craig not expecting 2 cars going by, one on each side.
It's one of the things that makes this so thrilling. You have to watch your mirrors all the time.
I just love it. You're not only involved in an in-class battle, but you're always passing, being passed. That's certainly a lot of the appeal of the American Le Mans Series.
Herbert up, heading toward the corkscrew again, up the Rahal Straight here. Just newly renamed for the former IndyCar star Bobby Rahal, now a team owner. By the 88, Thomas Enga driving that car. That is the leader in GTS. Look at how quickly the champion ADT Audi blasts by.
You know, it also shows you just how good these GTS cars are, because Thomas Enga in that Ferrari was braking almost as well as the Audi. Big carbon rotors on that Pro Drive car. Beautiful piece of work.
Frank Vila continues to lead overall in the Yost Audi, the silver #1. Second spot to Weaver in the blue and white 16. This is your 3rd place car, the ADT champion machine. F1 star Johnny Herbert at the wheel. That's turn 1, the kink down to 2. Lead car, meantime, is about 12 seconds ahead, a little further up on the racetrack. So Vila setting the pace. He grabbed the lead as they came by the green flag. Glad to have you with us. More of the American Le Mans Series on NBC Sports in a moment.
Michelin designed the cross-terrain SUV tires specifically for SUVs to help provide responsive handling and a smooth ride. You'd be surprised just how smooth.
Now, buy 4 Michelin tires and get a free JVC DVD player. Visit your Michelin dealer today. Offer ends September 27th.
Michelin, because so much is riding on your tires.
Now, wherever your allergies strike, there's a new non-drowsy medicine that lets you do something wonderful. Breathe again. Announcing Alivert Allergy and Sinus. It relieves sinus pressure, stops runny nose, and clears your nasal congestion so you can breathe again. Inside, outside, wherever you are. Get prescription-strength, non-drowsy allergy and sinus relief even Claritin can't beat. New Alivert Allergy and Sinus. The right relief, wherever you are. Alivert.
Let's circle back to Cincinnati with those figures, you know. I'm worried about Red.
Oh, no. It's off? Okay, I'll be right there. Guys, I gotta go.
I think we can achieve substantial organ penetration in the Pacific Rim.
That's awful. Really sorry, but I have to go.
The new Boxster. It is perhaps the perfect getaway car.
Back at Mazda Raceway, Laguna Seca, the American Le Mans Series on NBC Sports. Whoopi Goldberg, certainly edgy, irreverent, and unpredictable. In this fall, she's on NBC with her own must-see comedy, Whoopi. New comedy with no apologies. The premiere of Whoopi is this Tuesday at 8, 7 Central on NBC. And as always, log on to our website, NBCSports.com. Get the latest auto racing news and results, all at NBCSports.com. Follow the American Le Mans Series and much more online, of course. With Bill Adam, I'm Rick Benjamin. Let's catch you up on what's going on here in the 7th round of the 2003 American Le Mans Series Championship. At the top of the leaderboard overall, car number 1, Frank Biela in the Yost Audi R8. They've led from the drop of the green after qualifying on the pole. Biela and Marco Werner will share this car, trying to get back to victory lane. They won last at Trois-Rivières, Quebec a few weeks back in the month of August. Did not win at Road America. The honors there going to the other Audi in the field, the ADT champion car, which runs in 3rd spot right now. Biela with a huge advantage. He's 12 seconds ahead of the runner-up, which is one of the 675 prototypes, the 16 from Bob Dyson's stable. And there is the car with James Weaver at the helm. He also leads in the 675 category. But Bill Adam, this is a team that wants overall race wins. They got one at Sears Point.
They do, and that was a perfect track for them. We have seen this car put out some really incredible speed at certain circuits, but because it's a relatively small motor, it's very tiny and has to use a big turbo to generate a lot of horsepower. It's not good with a lot of on and off the throttle, so you lose lag, you lose boost and power very quickly. They want long, flowing, ultra-fast corners.
They have a good run going, but they are 12 seconds behind the car that's 3rd overall. Johnny Herbert, J.J. Lutto will be in this car a little later. Bill, they won at Road America, but they just haven't been on pace here today. Jan Mikas, what are you hearing downstairs?
At the moment, Rick, they're having a conference as to whether or not to bring him onto pit road. The pit window is open. They can pit after 45 minutes and only make it in a 2-stop. But obviously, they have learned their lesson at Trois-Rivières. You never want to bring the car in earlier than you have to. That's why they're in a conference right now.
They huddle up. The opener of the football season this weekend, and Mike Peters has the team huddle to talk it over.
And you know something else? That is something right there. We saw the car off the outside of turn 1. If that car is disabled, that would be the pace car that they maybe want right now.
Riding with Herbert, 3rd overall, 18 seconds out of the lead. He needs a break. GTS, this is perhaps the most competitive of the categories here. The 2 Ferraris, this continues to be a Ferrari 550 track build. This is right now one of the Pro Drive cars leading. Thomas Enke, Peter Cox, they've been out front the whole way.
And the other car, the 80 car we saw involved in the first corner incident, nose damage to that car has not really affected the progress of Jan Magnussen. And they're saying that basically the car is understeering a little more than normal, but he can hold the normal race lap times. So when they come in for a standard pit stop, they're just going to tape up the damage and send it back out with David Braverman.
Let's take a look at what happened back on lap 1 as the cars came to the green flag. Riding with the Pro Drive Ferrari. This is the 80 car. 2nd in the category on Magnussen. This is off the drop of the green. Scrambling into turn 2.
It's right there. You just saw the low and white, blue and white car, very, very low car coming across his bow, and that was enough to damage the front of his car. So you can see the front is still sticking out. He has lost a couple of those little black carbon fiber winglets that would give him that downforce. If you take the downforce away, the car will push or understeer more. It just doesn't want to turn into the corners.
Magnussen about 6 seconds behind Thomas Enke. Enke was out qualified by Magnussen. They started side by side, but once they got to the corner, that contact put the 80 car back in 2nd in GTS. So the Corvettes, 3rd and 4th in the category, 9th and 10th overall. In GT right now, Sasha Massa, one of the Alex Joe McKenna Mobile One Porsches. Their team car, the 24 of Timo Bernhard, led early. They had electrical problems. They had a long stop, nearly 7 minutes in length. Right behind the Alex Joe Porsche with the factory drivers, of course, the Ferrari 360. This is the Calpon car. We can look at it in a moment. The 35 with Anthony Lazzaro up. They've had a good run, Bill. They're 16th overall.
They have had a good run, but as you saw Sasha Massa coming out of the front straight, Anthony is up at the corkscrew, so he is over half a minute behind. And right now, I think it's there just out of a case of keeping that car going, taking advantage of the problems of others.
Not quite an hour into the chase here at Mazda Raceway, Laguna Seca, the Fry's Electronic Sports Car Championships on NBC Sports. Beautiful place to come and enjoy an event. Your category leaders. We'll be right back.
Take the ribbon from my hair.
They sang songs about life and love.
Shake it loose and let it fall.
They captured our hearts.
Satin sheets to lie on.
Time Life Music proudly presents the Queens of Country.
Well, I was born to coal miner's daughter.
Loretta Lynn, Kitty Wells,
In a cabin,
Dolly Parton, Tammy Wynette, you'll get 30 country classics by all the great ladies of country.
If I could only win your love,
Emmylou Harris,
I'd make the
Tanya Tucker,
most of it.
Patsy Cline.
Sweet dream.
Get the Queens of Country on 2 CDs or cassettes for just $19.99.
I wanna tell you all a story about a Harper Valley widow.
Plus, call with your credit card and we'll cut the price in half.
Once a day.
That's right. You get 30 hits for just $9.99.
I beg your pardon. I never promised.
You'll treasure this collection forever.
Funny face, I love you. Funny face.
Then review other classic country collections. Satisfaction guaranteed. So use your credit card and get 2 great albums for just $9.99.
Call 1-800-538-0300 to order Queens of Country on 2 CDs or 2 cassettes for just $9.99 plus shipping and handling when you use your credit card. Or send $19.99 to Queens of Country, Department 16, Richmond, Virginia, 23280. Or order online at timelife.com.
Introducing Cayenne, pure Porsche in a most unexpected form.
Welcome back to the Monterey Sports Car Championships. We're here at the Monterey Bay Aquarium, one of the most popular tourist destinations in all of Northern California. About 1.8 million people a year come to see the sea otters, the sharks, the jellies, and the other 550 species of animals and plants that reside here. But before the aquarium existed in the early 1900s, Monterey was actually the sardine capital of the world. Over 250,000 tons of sardines were canned here each season. You may have heard of John Steinbeck's novel Cannery Row. That story was based on the life here at the time of World War II. The sardine industry did eventually die, but Cannery Row continued to flourish, and now it's the home of not only the aquarium, but several shops and restaurants lined up all along the Monterey Bay.
And we are live on the Monterey Peninsula with Bill Adam. I'm Rick Benjamin, your Porsche aerial cam, giving us some beautiful looks today at Mazda Raceway, Laguna Seca. 7th race of the season for the American Le Mans Series. And Bill, while we were away, the one car has had a driver change. Marco Werner's at the helm now, driving off into the sunset. Many other teams have had some drama, including the ADT champion Audi. Broke a transmission.
And this is really unthinkable. There were apparently reports of noise coming from the transmission. There's Johnny, you see, gets out of the car, a little bit of frustration. But watch this in a moment as the crew changed the entire rear end. Watch the body language of JJ Leto. Look at this. He's saying just get in it and drive it. Now, that's maybe a different attitude. Early in the race, we saw a problem with the Ferrari getting tagged. They chose to leave it out. Champion have chosen to bring theirs in.
7 minutes behind the wall. Jan Beekes is with Johnny Herbert.
I am. And Johnny, what was the problem with the gearbox?
Well, prior to that, we had a problem with the turbo boost, and I had to undo all my belts and sort of try and see where the fuses are, because it popped a fuse. And I think that's part of what happened this morning with the wire fire. But then later on, just got a noise really, and it was still running okay, but it was just a noise, and they just made a decision to, because it was still 2 hours to go, to come in and change the box and then go out again. It seems as if it was the final drive that was the problem.
Now, when JJ got in the car, you had a very animated discussion. What was he so upset about?
Well, I think it's just one of those things for us, and even me, probably at the end of the day, because of, you know, it was important for us to just keep on going for JJ and the championship. We don't mind sort of the car breaking and not finishing, so I think in a lot of respect we would have been better than just driving on, getting to the end of the race. But I understand it from the guys on the outside who are looking at it from a safety point of view at the same time. So it's a hard thing, hard decision to take, and it's just an unfortunate circumstance which, you know, I don't know why it's come, because it's something that I haven't heard of that happening with an Audi before, so it's a bit frustrating that way.
Well, it's a great change by the crew. Thanks.
It was good, so that's the good thing.
Leto, though, has the bit in his teeth. They came off pit road 27th, Bill Adam. They are 10th now, 5th in the 900 prototype.
He has been brilliant all year long. You can see he's using up all of the track as he comes back, but he's got a long way to go.
Now the Dyson team in the 675 category. This is Chris Dyson, the son of the team owner. Spun, headed up the hill toward turn 6. On the same lap, James Weaver, 2nd overall, into the tires at the corkscrew.
Pushed up the road by a Porsche, mate.
You can hear James.
Where are you?
Talking to the crew. Said he was pushed off the road by one of the GT Porsches.
Well, James. Can you see him?
Got the car restarted with a minimum of problems. So in GTS, the Pro Drive Ferraris on pit road, the 88 and the 80. The 88 car had been in the lead in GTS. They are now 2nd. And this is the team that started on the pole, the Yost Audi. Frank Vila started the 1 car, has led all the way, giving the car over to Marco Werner a short time ago. Lap 71, they have led the entire, they didn't even cough up the lead on pit road. Now also in GTS, the CompuAir Corvettes, the GM cars, the 3 of Ron Fellows and Johnny O'Connell. Difficult weekend for this team. They are currently 4th in GTS. They have never won here in 5 tries. And in GT, the McKenna Alex Job mail-to-web Porsches. The 24 car with Timo Bernhard had problems early, electrical problems. Sasha Masson and Lucas Lohr had taken the lead in the 23. They made a driver change, no drama there.
No, thankfully, this just keeps on going. But back here, now we're going to be rejoining. There is the Yost car. You can see he is running around the track here with a pretty strong lead over Butch Leitzinger, who now is in the Dyson car.
About an hour, a little more than an hour of racing to go. Let's get an update from pit road. First to Jan Bikas.
Well, we looked at some of those pit stops. Interesting in GTS, you talked about the 88 dropping to 2nd place. They lost just a little bit of time on pit road. It was a 1-minute, 7-second pit stop, and it seemed like it was a little slow getting out of the box. That's how close the competition is. Now for the number 3 Corvette, the crew made a great stop. They were 1 minute flat. But that Ferrari is so fast, just saving 7 seconds in the pits, unfortunately, is not going to help them today. They just don't have the speed on the racetrack.
Well, we're finally getting towards an answer to what happened to Chris Dyson. Somewhere in this order, spin, engine blow-up, and or water loss. And they feel perhaps that there was some oil on the tyres that caused the spin, and eventually that car retired with a massive oil and water loss.
Meantime, one of the GTS Ferraris, one of the Pro Drive cars, looks like the 80 with David Brabham went off there at turn 4, turn 5, trying to get by the 4 car.
Yeah, and I think David Brabham may be in danger of losing the lead right now because of that spin. We'll have to wait until he comes down the front straight, but he was able to get back going. Doesn't look like any damage. Here's another look at it. See him tucking in the inside right there. Maybe even a little bit of contact with that number 4, and look, there his own teammate does go by, so that did cost Brabham the lead in GTS.
Kelly Collins driving the Corvette. Maybe Collins didn't know that Brabs was there.
Well, you know what?
Chopped down on him.
That's a case. I don't blame Kelly on that one. You see, David was not alongside the door. There is no way Kelly could have known that he was up that far.
When you're in the leading car and you turn into the corner, if the other driver tries to go up the inside and the first driver, the leader, can't see you, you're going to have contact.
Exactly right.
Watching the Pro Drive Ferraris, it's been a great day for them. They have won here last year. It's been a very strong racetrack for Ferrari. Cox in the 88 now back in front of Brabham, 4th overall. One of the GTS Ferraris could well end up on the podium overall here today.
It would be very easy to happen. I mean, right now, these cars are running so strong. This car does look a little battered up right now. You see the tape over the front end is holding everything in place.
Brabham about 3 seconds behind his teammate.
Doesn't look bad at all. He is closing up there. I think that's the back of the number 3 Corvette, right? Yes, it is. So there's Kelly Collins, the number 4, Johnny O'Connell, the number 3, and Brabham is catching back up to him pretty quickly. These have been dominant cars in this class today, and whether it's the way the car is or the Michelin tire advantage, not really sure, but they have a decided advantage in grip over the Corvettes on this circuit.
Corvette's right there with the Ferraris on the racetrack, but they are both a lap down to the 2 red Ferraris as we get into our final hour of racing today at Mazda Raceway, Laguna Seca. Ferrari's first ever GTS ALMS win came here 1 year ago. Corvette's best ever finish here in 2nd spot. Taking a look, there's the ABT champion Audi sneaking to the inside. JJ Leto still 10th overall, but trying to work his way up the leaderboard and get back into contention here. He's got that car 5th among the 900 prototypes.
Well, JJ, I think, gets my award as the traffic driver of the year. He gets through traffic, I think, better than anybody this year. He's just been so good to watch. He seems to be able to anticipate every little thing, and sometimes it gets down to very fine details of watching, trying to pick up just the tiniest little ideas of what the driver ahead of you may want to do. Look at it, look at it. Now, here, this is great. Exercising a little bit of caution right there. I thought he was going to go alongside Kelly Collins' Corvette right there. He saw something, chose not to do it at that point. Now he can wait for a much safer position here, and he'll do the same thing to try and set up the Ferrari for a good clean pass.
Heading up the hill toward turn 6 here at Mazda Raceway, Laguna Seca. Leto blowing by one of the Ferraris. Doesn't gain a position by that. Remember, they spent 7 minutes behind the wall changing the gearbox in that car a short time ago.
And, you know, to talk a little bit about that gearbox change, Johnny was saying, well, maybe we should, maybe we shouldn't. You can really look at it either way and give good justification for it. Even though JJ was angry about the fact they did choose to change it, they have to think, what if they had stayed on the track, the car had broken, and then maybe the unthinkable? What about if Marco Werner makes a mistake or the Yost car breaks? They want to get the car back out there and salvage it in case the Yost car breaks to get some points.
We're looking at turn 11 here at Mazda Raceway, Laguna Seca. Johnny O'Connell in car number 3 out of Flowery Branch, Georgia. In front of him, his Corvette teammate, the number 4. The car being driven right now by Kelly Collins from here in California. Working with the Ferraris, the GTS contenders all together. Down into turn 2. 4 car, Collins. Working on Brabham. Up the short straightaway. These 4 cars and these 4 teams of drivers have had a terrific battle going all season long.
Well, I think the last 2 races, particularly back at MOTORSPORT and again at Road America, I think they may have been the best battles that we've seen all year long in the GTS class. Terrific.
1 hour of racing to go. We show you the GTS leaders. Cox in the 88, Brabham in the 80, Collins in the 4. Let's show you some of what's going on in GTS this season. They've been battling all year since Sebring. Corvette has had the upper hand at many racetracks. Ferrari's been tough at a lot of places too. We'll be back after these words from our local NBC stations.
NBC Monday, the grand finale of For Love or Money 2. 2 men, 2 hours, $2 million at stake. Will they pick love or money?
She's a damn good actress.
In the biggest television event
This is it.
of the summer.
I'm falling in love with you.
The grand finale of For Love or Money 2. NBC Monday, 9/8 Central.
Raceway, Laguna Seca, coverage of the Prize Electronics Sports Car Championships on NBC Sports with Bill Adam, I'm Rick Benjamin, Martin Haven, Jan Beekes, Tracy Wolfson for us downstairs. Glad to have you with us. Our Porsche aerial cam, beautiful pictures from one of the most picturesque places in the western United States here on the Monterey Peninsula. Leader is car number 1, Marco Werner. They ride on Michelin tires, and Michelin has come up with a way to keep those tires from curing them properly. Here's Martin Haven.
We're used to seeing tyre engineers monitoring temperatures when the tyres are on the car, but at Michelin they monitor the temperature of a tyre from the moment it's manufactured. Using a device like this, even in the trucks, they know exactly what the temperature is every minute of the day. When they get home, they download the data, and if there are any dangerously high temperature spikes over 80 degrees, they will invest in a refrigerated truck to bring the tyres to that track the next time out. Why refrigerated? Well, because from the moment it's made, like a fine wine, a tyre starts to age, or cure as the tyre engineers refer to it. And the temperature rise just increases and accelerates that process to a level that you don't really want. Like the cold one in your hand, this has a born on and a best before date, and that stops this tyre turning from a fine product into something you really don't want to put on a race car.
Temperature controlled environments for your tires.
I know more
about
about
a tire cellar at your house in Florida, don't you, Bill?
Yes, I do. I keep it right with Adobe Road tires. I think that's
on board. The spoiler's eye view.
It just amazes me the attention to detail that Michelin take to make sure the tires are perfect at all times.
David Salins, we have not seen much of the remaining Panos Roadster. The other car we showed you at the top of the broadcast, the number 11, Benjamin Leuenberger, Gunnar Jeanette crashed in the corkscrew yesterday. They couldn't take the green, but Salins, who has been an F1 test driver, they've had a terrific run today in this 10 car. They are 3rd overall.
He's great fun to watch in the car. He looks like he gives 100% on every single lap. I mean, really using this thing up. This is the car that just won't die. Every season, say, well, it's
a front engine. 99?
Oh, yeah. It just keeps on going, and it's so much fun for the crew. And they all laugh about it, joke about it, say, yeah, it's an old dog, but it just keeps getting better. Better shocks now, better springs. They've stiffened it a lot to make it put the rubber onto the ground better. And it's such a kind of a fun challenge when you take something that everybody says is no good, and you prove that, indeed, it is good.
Olivier Beretta sharing the car with Salins, and he's one of the great road racers in the world. They've got a terrific team of drivers.
You know, something to keep an eye on when we get another chance. I'll just tell you somewhere about the telemetry at the bottom of the screen there. Very interesting that we have some pedal temperature telemetry showing just how the temperatures will change in this car. And even though it's a beautiful day here in California, these can still be very hot cars to drive.
Top of the screen, you see the overall running order. Your favorite driver listed up there. Lucas Luhr, 12th overall. Johnny Holm, 15th. Behind Ralph Kellner. Battle in GT, which we'll check in on as we watch Salins head up the Rahal Straight, just renamed here this week after Bobby Rahal, the corkscrew. 3rd overall in the number 10, which Leitzinger 2nd in the 16. Marco Werner, the overall leader in the Yost Audi, the car number 1. They've led all the way.
Maybe it's fitting too. This old car in Oakland Raider colors.
There you go.
The age coming through here.
You had to get a Raider mention.
Yeah.
Let's check in on the battle for supremacy in GT. Lucas Luhr is out in front, 12th overall. Right behind him on the racetrack, Johnny Mola in the Peterson Porsche, the number 31. Just in front, actually, of the 23, but Peterson's car, the Mola-driven machine, is 3rd overall. One of the Ferraris, Ralph Kellner's in the 35, 2nd in GT right now. It's the Kelpon car that he shares with Anthony Lazzaro.
Alex Caffey, we talked about him earlier being put into the number 60 car.
Yeah.
He's having a pretty good run in that right now. He is up to 4th place in GT in that car, running good lap times.
That's the PK Sport Porsche that Robin Liddell from Great Britain started. Behind the Banana Joe's MG Lola in the 675 category, John Field and Duncan Dayton. They are normally a contender for podium honors and overall honors in reality, but they spent a lot of time on pit road. They were penalized. They've had electrical difficulties. 37 car not in the hunt here.
Saw Lucas Luhr just take a look inside Mola, and much like we saw earlier, he decided to exercise caution, didn't want to take a chance. Lucas had an interesting story last night. He said that his father was in a race yesterday in Europe and won it. Wow. He hadn't been in a race car for 11 years, and he said, Bill, I was so nervous. I kept phoning Germany saying, how is Daddy doing? He said,
take a look at the Simcoe Ferrari. Peter Shane Lewis and Jim Bell, the team engineer, chatting on the radio.
Shane teamed with Terry Borcheller. In fact, let's just see if I can chat to Shane, see how he's doing out here right now.
7th at GT.
Shane, this is Bill Adam in the booth. Can you hear me?
Hey, Bill, how you doing, buddy?
Well, I'm not having as much fun as you, but you look like you're having a great drive out there.
When you got this speed differential, it's really tough to get around here.
Now, how's that transmission working for you here, Shane? I know you've had a few problems earlier this year, but do you find that helps you here at Laguna?
Bill, it's working really good. We did have some problems early on in the section, but things are working pretty good here for the race.
Shane Lewis, always nice to get an up close and personal with what's taking place on the track. It always amazes me. You hear how relaxed Shane sounds there as we're talking to him, and he is having a nice drive as well as not dropping off any concentration at all. He's still going very quickly.
They're 20th overall, started 25th, 7th in the GT category, and then a Simcoe Ferrari 360. A team made a big announcement here this weekend. They will move to Saleen S7s with some factory help from Steve Saleen and his bunch come next season. It'll be a 2-car effort in GTS.
Look good on TV, Shane. Let's go.
He is very comprehensive. One of the really nice guys in the sport.
Maybe late in the lap, one of the MG Dyson.
Crew just advising him of what will be coming up.
As we watch Shane Lewis in that Ferrari. 20th on the board.
And just you see right there, that's the little paddle shift that's making the reference to. Just watch his hand flick up.
So the final couple of races have expect to get some additional technical help for that car. Showing you the top 5 of the GT category, Lucas Luhr is out in front. Some of the action in GT today, it has been intense from the drop of the green. We'll be back with more of the Fry's Electronic Sports Car Championships here on NBC.
Thank you. Mr. Roberts. Mr. Roberts, your car is ready.
Wake up to real performance from Yokohama at a dealer near you.
Introducing the all-new rotary-powered Mazda RX-8.
If it's for the home, if it's for the office, if it's for life, it's at Fry's. Get this 17-inch CRT monitor for only $49.99 after mail-in rebate. Linksys wireless beam media adapter is now $179.99. This Hewlett-Packard 1-megapixel digital camera is a low $49.99. Remember, your best buys are always at Fry's. Guaranteed.
Introducing the all-new rotary-powered Mazda RX-8.
Today's NBC Sports coverage of the American Le Mans Series, the Fry's Electronics Sports Car Championships, being brought to you by Mazda. There's a soul of a sports car in everything we make. Welcome back live to Mazda Raceway, Laguna Seca with Bill Adam. I'm Rick Benjamin on NBC Sports. Just less than 50 minutes of racing to come your way this afternoon. Battles are starting to heat up in GTS, watching the two Pro Drive Ferraris. This is for position for 4th overall and the leadership of GTS. Peter Cox in the red number 80. Just a car length. He's been passed now, the 88 I should say, with Cox right in front of David Brabham in the 80, and there's just a car length separating.
Yeah, I think it's pretty obvious that there's no team orders going here, because a couple of times now Brabham has come out, put the car out of line just to take a look, maybe occupy Peter's mirror. Look at David go up the inside here, doesn't want to lose touch of them. They're having a terrific battle. Plus, you know, Peter Cox and Thomas Enka, they came second at Motorsport and GTS class, and Brabham and Magnussen won the last race at Road America, so it's maybe a little more incentive for Cox to try and keep David behind him.
And if you watch the GTS battle closely, the two factory Corvettes that have won the championship several times and have been so dominant, they're 8th and 9th overall, 3rd and 4th in the category, and they're a lap behind the Ferraris. This track just does not favor the Corvette team.
No, it doesn't. This is going to be good. This time, let's keep an eye on what happens down the front straight, because the last couple of laps, David has taken a really close look at him, going down, breaking down into turn 2 up the end of the straight. Turn 1 is actually this little bend directly up ahead of us underneath the bridge. Now, here's an overhead, and let's watch the amount of, or look at the amount of time that David gains under braking. They're going uphill here, now over the crest and downhill very steeply. Look at Brabham just closing up. And then the car washes out a little bit more than Cox's Ferrari does at that point because of that front end damage probably. So Peter able to stretch out a little bit. Now he's getting blocked. I think that might be Shane in the Semco Ferrari immediately ahead of him. Brabham kind of being able to hold. Yeah.
Cox with a bold move there to get by the GT Ferrari first. Let's go to pit road. Jan Beekes.
There's a driver change taking place on the Ford Corvette. And the reason why Kelly Collins is getting out of the car, Oliver Gavin is getting in, is that the rear tires, according to Kelly Collins, are gone. They want to come in and put some new fresh Goodyears on the back. We've talked about the Corvette team has struggled here. They just cannot seem to get a hold of this racetrack. And now with the rear tires gone, they have to come in for an unscheduled stop.
Boy, that does hurt. We have talked for the last couple of years, actually, on the superiority of Michelin, their ability to maintain a pace over double and sometimes even triple stints. And Goodyear have done wonderful work with the tires on this Corvette recently, but this is one track where it looks like they just don't work.
They have worked and worked and tested and tested. The asphalt here has really been worn. There is sand in a lot of locations. That does make the track more slick, no doubt about it. 4-car up to speed off pit road, down to Martin Haven.
Yeah, maybe Lucas Lowe was thinking about his dad in the Nürburgring 6 Hours race when he was on track today, because he's flat spotted one of the tires. So he's come in to change all 4 Michelins on this car. Now, of course, they have got a healthy lead in the class, so it should not be too much of a wrinkle in the master plan.
The Alex Joe McKenna team working on the 23. The 35, Ralph Kellner's, Anthony Lazzaro. Kellner's driving the Calpont Ferrari. Headed to the corkscrew. There's second in GT. Kellner's is a smoothie, too.
He's very, very good. Well, there's Lucas rejoining it, so he will keep the lead. But the pit stop is always one thing that it makes you nervous. I mean, remember years ago at Sebring, we saw Alex Jones' team with only a very few minutes to go, brought one car in and it refused to restart. So it's one of those moments of tension. You hope everything's okay.
This is endurance racing. You got 2 hours, 45 minutes, and a lot of the question is which car will last, who's left standing at the end of the afternoon. There's Kellner's in the 35, still second in GT. Lead car in GT, the 23, and the McKenna Alex Joe Porsche, running 12th overall. No problem at all for the 23. Warner in the Audi leads overall, which Leitzinger leads at 675. Cox and Lure lead the closed car categories.
Ladies and gentlemen, Bobby Rahal, the Rahal Straight.
The announcement, Bob Rahal, the kart champion in past years, now an IndyCar car owner. The backstretch dedicated, named the Rahal Straight here at Laguna Seca. Bobby receiving a plaque commemorating the honor, the sign up on the backstretch.
This sport is a great sport, and it does so many great things for people, and it allows dreams to come true like mine have come today. So thank you very much.
Bobby Rahal here visiting this weekend. Great to see him. Back with more at Laguna Seca.
There it is. Whoa. Change of plans. Turn right.
Well.
Introducing Cayenne, pure Porsche, in a most unexpected form.
Thank you.
Mr. Roberts. Mr. Roberts, your car is ready.
Wake up to real performance from Yokohama at a dealer near you.
God of wonders beyond our galaxy.
Experience the power. It's the new sound of worship. Presenting Worship Together on 2 CDs or cassettes for just $19.99. But wait, call with your credit card and we'll cut the price in half. That's right, you get 2 albums for just $9.99. Then audition other Worship Together albums. Satisfaction guaranteed. So call now and get 2 powerful albums for just $9.99.
Use your credit card and call 1-800-903-3993 to order Worship Together for just $9.99 plus shipping, or send $19.99 plus shipping to the address on your screen, or go to timelife.com.
Boxing's back on NBC. Olympic silver medalist Rocky Juarez, one of the most exciting young power punchers in the ring today. Don't miss this undefeated knockout artist in a high-powered main event. The NBC Boxing Series, next Saturday, 4:30 Eastern.
Back live on NBC Sports, Mazda Raceway, Laguna Seca, the American Le Mans Series. Today, the Fry's Electronic Sports Car Championships. A reminder, next Sunday at 4 Eastern, 1 Pacific, NBC kicks off its coverage of the 2003 Gravity Games. Live coverage, and first up, motocross sensation Travis Pastrana pulls out some monster jumps, some death-defying backflips, pursuing Gravity Gold in the freestyle motocross. Plus, the skateboard vert prelims of the 2003 Gravity Games. Live next Sunday at 4 Eastern, 1 Pacific, only here on NBC Sports. The Yost Audi, car number 1, being balked here by one of the GT Porsches. They have led all the way, 90 laps on the board. First, Frank Biela, 3 wide as they come to turn 11. Marco Bernhard navigates by the 2 Racers Group cars. All 3 of them nose to tail, actually. And Bernhard still setting sail, driving off into the sunset here as we watch Kevin Buckler's 3 cars nose to tail. Wow. Don't usually get to see that. Kurt Wagner driving the 66 for the Buckler team, 18th overall, 5th in GT. They have made their pit stops. Kevin Buckler was driving, and he was up to 2nd in GT earlier. And now the 3 Buckler team cars sort things out. You know, the sports car world for a long time has attracted some of the leading lights in the world of business. Many of them enjoy great success off track as well as on track. Their business acumen strong. The latest is entrepreneur Kevin Buckler, who lives his wife away from the track very quickly. Here's Tracy Wilson.
The Racers Group is not just the professional race team that we normally see. You know, our company specializes in aftermarket Porsche performance parts. We are a manufacturer and distributor of all sorts of little knickknacks that'll upgrade the street Porsche and the club racers, and that's a big part of our business. We own the winery, and Adobe Road Winery with my friends Ron and Eva, and that started as a group of friends getting together and just making some wine on the weekends, and it's you know, turned into a sort of almost a full-time thing. I really enjoy when the crush comes around and working with my friends that are our partners on the winery and making the wine, picking the grapes, and doing all that stuff. We actually like it. We get dirty, we get in there, and we make it happen. So, and then 3 years later, you know, opening up a bottle, it's kind of a labor of love.
Business is not all that drives this thriving entrepreneur. He is a devoted family man and father of 3 beautiful children. Away from the jobs, Buckler plays as hard as he works.
I've always really enjoyed water sports, played a lot of racket sports, played a lot of tennis. My first love's probably snow skiing. I have a great group of friends that we go off a couple times a year. We take a helicopter skiing trip, we do some fun stuff, and really good week we usually take doing that. I just enjoy the outdoors, and I enjoy doing something that is challenging and competitive and sort of keeps your competitive juices sort of flowing.
Kevin Buckler, 3-car team. They've had a lot of success. Won at Le Mans last year. This year's been a little more difficult for the Adobe Road Monster Cable New Century Mortgage Bunch. Meantime, on pit road, J.J. Leto slaloming the 38 car, the ACC champion Audi, to a stop. Jan Bikas.
And it looks like not only are they going to take fuel, but they're also thinking about taking tires. He shouldn't need a full load of fuel because there's not that much running. But J.J. Leto has been on fire out on the racetrack, and so therefore they're going to throw some new Michelins on that car and let him go for it. Now, we've talked about how animated he was when he got into the car, not happy that they changed the rear end, but sometimes when a driver is angry, that's when he's the fastest. And in fact, they are going to give him the Michelin's like we expected. So, a little longer on pit road, but with brand new tires, J.J. Leto should be flying out there. Wow, 40-second stop for the champion team.
Meantime, for second spot, David Salins in the 10, Butch Leitzinger in the 16. There is a lap between those cars. Scrambling off turn 11, we look up the front straightaway here at Mazda Raceway, Laguna Seca. Leto came off pit road when they changed the gearbox about 45 minutes ago. They were 27th, Bill Adam. He has gotten that car up to 5th.
Just remarkable. He's Actually, we just got upgraded scoring. Now he is in 3rd place. So Leto has had a phenomenal day.
3rd among the 900 prototypes, 5th overall. Watching the 67 Racers Group cars. Kevin Buckler's team take a look at what happened here. Salen's in the 10. Leitzinger in the 16, 2nd overall. Butch to the inside here, trying to challenge, and the 67 car had spun.
Looks like, can't even see any sign of rubber going up. That relatively harmless spin. He pulled to the inside, keep out everybody's way. Heads up driving. Pierre Herret.
11th in GT, 24th overall. Back on the gas.
Kevin Buckler is, he really is, I find him such an interesting guy. He's a phenomenal athlete. You saw him skiing and playing tennis that I got to witness at his wineries. We had a wonderful tour with Kevin through Adobe Road and through the Pride Winery, to another spectacular winery up where he lives. Very interesting, complex guy. He's driven in so many areas.
JJ Leto really with the whip out of the 38 car. We mentioned that he had come from 27th to 5th. Obviously, it's a 900 prototype, one of the fastest race cars in the world. Much quicker than a lot of the cars that are in the field here today, but still, with all the traffic and the relatively limited grip, very impressive run. Back on board the Pro Drive Ferrari. This is the 80 car with David Brabham leading in GTS. 4th overall, 5 laps down to the leader.
Something, too, to pay attention to in this car. He is leading right now, by the way, because of a pit stop. His teammate, car number 88, Thomas Angecar, did come in and make his stop. David still will have to stop once more. But as we ride on board, listen to the shifting of this Ferrari, how fast it is. This is a very special gearbox. The shifting is all flat out, but it's under 9 thousandths of a second to go from one gear to the next.
No clutch.
No clutch. Oh, he's coming in.
Headed for a stop. So Brabham, who's 4th overall, leading GTS, probably will give up the GTS lead to his teammate Enga as we move to the final 33 minutes of action here today. Mazda Raceway, Laguna Seca. Martin Haben is in the 85th.
That's right. It might be close call when it comes to who comes out in the lead, though, whether the 88 car will come round quickly enough. Brabham gets out, he'll hand over to Jan Magnussen, and the tyre engineers have decided to try and speed the stop up. Only front tyres. The other car took on a 4-tyre change, so that may just give them enough time to get back in front. Now, the reason that Peter Cox came in earlier was because he's got a really severe head cold, and he was absolutely wasted. He had to come in 4 or 5 laps before he wanted to hand over to Thomas Enga.
Well, you know what? I like the gamble because they may have had a little bit more of a front tire problem today because they lost the aerodynamic downforce that the 88 car still had. But also, Jan Magnussen's a driver who has never minded driving cars sideways, so he can handle it, even if it is pretty loose.
Slightly more tires would not necessarily be a disadvantage. Pit lane speed limit, of course, holding Magnussen back, but now he can come up to speed. Still on the entrance way, if you will, to Mazda Raceway Laguna Seca through turn 2.
Yep, there's the teammate.
Magnussen 6th, yeah. The 88 of Enga in 2nd spot, but closing in after both cars have made their final stop of the afternoon. Short straightaway here, heading toward turn 4. Your Porsche aerial cam gives you a look at just how pretty this part of the Monterey Peninsula is. We'll be back with more of the Fry's Electronic Sports Car Championships.
At Michelin, each tire goes through a series of rigorous tests, including a thorough hand inspection.
Now buy 4 Michelin tires and get a free JVC DVD player. Visit your Michelin dealer today. Offer ends September 27th.
Michelin, because so much is riding on your tires.
Everyone wants to be a winner. That's why racers choose Sunoco, the world's largest manufacturer of racing gasolines and official fuel of more than 400 tracks. Racers win with Sunoco. Track tested, street smart.
Introducing the all-new rotary-powered Mazda RX-8.
Jack?
The way you feel about sports cars will never be the same.
The Gravity Gauge, live. Returning next Sunday at 4 Eastern to NBC.
Great crowd on hand at Mazda Raceway, Laguna Seca. Reminder, be sure and join Emmy Award winners John Larroquette and Christine Baranski, the premiere of Happy Family right after Whoopi. They want an empty nest. The kids have other plans. The Happy Family premieres Tuesday night at 8:30, 7:30 Central on NBC. With Bill Adam, I'm Rick Benjamin, Jan Beekes, Martin Haven, Tracy Wolfson downstairs for us all weekend long, watching your overall race leader, car number 1, Team Yost and Finian Audi, Marco Werner, and Frank Biela. Werner in the saddle right now. Biela on pole, started the race. They've led all the way, 98 laps up on the board. Michelin tires on that car. And our paddock pass, Michelin, of course, with a big event coming up in a couple of weeks. It's the premier global event for environmentally positive vehicles, Challenge Bibendum, all energy sources. Last year, 10 different energy source machines from clean diesel, gasoline, solar, hydrogen fuel cell, and hybrids like this Honda and Toyota. More than 100 vehicles will participate. Drivers Gunnar Jeanette and Ben Leuenberger from the P.T.A. team got to try out a couple of the machines. Will be in action in the Challenge Bibendum at Sonoma and Finian Raceway the last weekend of the month of September. Show you how each of the 4 classes in the American Le Mans Series stack up. 7th race of the season, 900 prototypes, the R8, the Audi of Werner, that's silver number 1. They've led all the way, and they are the overall leaders. David Salins and Olivier Beretta in car number 10. The P.T.A.'s LMP in second spot. Third to J.J. Leto, the ADT champion Audi. He's up to 4th overall after that very quick pit stop. And there you see the white number 38 in front of the silver 1. Now, this is not for position, but anytime there's this much traffic, Bill Adam, it can be a tough moment. Getting by the P.T.A.'s in GT. And there's one of the 675 Lolas. Now, the class leader at 675 is one of Rob Dyson's Norcold Thetford machines with the Goodyear tires, Butch Leitzinger and James Weaver in the 16, and they are 2nd overall. Scott Bradley, John Field, the top 3.
Just heard a moment ago, too, that they may be making a pit stop in the very near future on this car. He's been complaining about front tires going away on him. And now we're back on board GTS leader. This is Jan Magnussen now driving the Ferrari 550. He is holding station just ahead of his own teammate, Thomas Enga, who actually has caught him up very quickly.
Enga just about 4 car lengths back. That is 4 position. Ron Fellows 3rd in the Corvette, car number 3. Fellows is 9th overall.
We noticed when the number 88 Ferrari stopped, there was some damage on the right front corner, and we're wondering where it came from. Well, David Brabham had the answer. You know, we said earlier there's a rule, don't touch each other. That's already been broken. They touched, there was a half spin. They both got away with it. And Brabham, well, he was a little bit surprised because he could only get the radio from the other team cars, and he knew what the pit strategy was from the wrong team. Jan Beekes has more.
And in fact, the 16 car has come on to pit road, just as we suspected. Butch Leitzinger will stay in the car, but just like you said, Bill, it looks like they're going to take front tires. Actually, 1 front tire, not 2. So it is the right front tire that's giving him a problem. It should be a quick stop. 22, 23, 24 seconds.
They will keep 2nd overall. They will keep the lead in the 675 prototypes. The right front, Bill, because most of your turns are to the left.
Exactly. It's one of these things that you want to get that bite, allowing you to position the car in tight to the corners.
In GT, the Porsches continue to dominate. This is the 23. The McKenna, Alex Job, Mobile One, failed to have Porsche. Lucas Luhr right in front of Ralph Kellner's. Johnny Molivan, one of the Porsches. There's the Asemco Ferrari. Running out of some racetrack there, but a good day for the 2nd, the 23 car, one of the 2 car Alex Job team machines. The 24 led outlet early. They had electrical problems. Also on the cards this weekend at Mazda Raceway, the Star Mazda North American Championship, as we show you category leaders. The Star Mazda event was held this morning. Here's what happened. 33 cars and drivers came to Mazda Raceway Laguna Seca for another round of the Star Mazda North American Championship. Luis Giavo was the pole sitter, but had problems on lap 1 and turn 2. He would spin and lose half of the racetrack. More trouble later on. Heavy contact through the S's. The 32 car getting up in the air. That's Steve Cook. He was done for the day. Moses Smith and Mike Potikin in the 26 put on quite a battle throughout the mid portions of this race before Smith got by. No one would be able to get around him. Bill Fox Sr. had a difficult afternoon, spinning in the 59, heading toward the corkscrew. He gets into the wall. Moses Smith and Mike McDowell running 1-2. Potikin chasing. He went off at the top of the corkscrew for his second trip into the weeds. And that ended the day for the championship contender. No one had anything for Team Tomlin's Moses Smith, the winner, at Mazda Raceway Laguna Seca. And we'll be right back with more of the American Le Mans Series on NBC Sports.
Introducing the all-new rotary-powered Mazda RX-8.
Jack?
The way you feel about sports cars will never be the same.
One of the beautiful things about women is they don't sweat or smell like a guy. Our body chemistry is just different.
Introducing Arm & Hammer Ultramax Antiperspirant Gel.
It's made for a man's body chemistry.
Ultramax stops odor at the source. So strong, tests show it offers superior odor protection versus the leading gel at 8, 12, even 24 hours.
It's all the muscle a man needs.
New Arm & Hammer Ultramax Gel.
Thank you.
Mr. Roberts. Mr. Roberts, your car is ready.
Wake up to real performance from Yokohama at a dealer near you.
If it's for the home, if it's for the office, if it's for life, it's at Fry's. Get this 17-inch CRT monitor for only $49.99 after mail-in rebate. Lynx's wireless beam media adapter is now $179.99. This Hewlett-Packard 1-megapixel digital camera is a low $49.99. Remember, your best buys are always at Fry's. Guaranteed.
In an age of political correctness, we have 2 words.
Your mama.
This Tuesday, one show dares to go.
I haven't felt so oppressed since the Ayatollah blew up my beach house.
Where no show has gone before.
Your people do scare me. I mean, I see 3 or 4 of you guys on an airplane, I'm off.
The early premiere of Whoopi this Tuesday, 8/7 Central.
Welcome back to the Monterey Sports Car Championships on NBC. We're here in the quaint little town of Carmel, the current home of former Mayor Clint Eastwood. This picturesque village, which lies just blocks from the ocean and minutes from the track, has something for everyone. Art galleries, antique shops, gourmet restaurants, and of course jewelry and clothing stores all along these tree-lined streets that are as clean as can be. And if it couldn't get any better than that, right down the road along California's 17-mile drive lies Pebble Beach Golf Course, home of the 2000 U.S. Open. Now, excuse me, with all this money I won from Rick Benjamin's Slice, I think I'm going to do me some shopping.
That was not me with that swing.
Take up tennis, Rick.
I tried that too. I wasn't any good there either. Porsche aerial cam views from Mazda Raceway Laguna Seca. It's all right. Tracy will get her comeuppance later on.
I noticed how quickly she talked about jewelry stores.
Yeah. Out in front, car number 1, the Team Yost Infiniti on Audi R8. Marco Werner, Frank Biela, Bela had the car on pole and led from the drop of the green. Werner got in during one of the team's stops, and they have led all 104 laps. We've got 20 minutes of racing to go. Car number 38, J.J. Leto, 7 minutes behind the wall and came back in 27th spot. Leto's got that car 4th overall. What a drive for this team. They are 2nd in category. They've won 2, their first ever wins coming this year in the American Le Mans Series. For champion track success, well, just as important as success in the business world. Tracy Wolfson sat down with Dave Mirage, the champion owner.
Well, I guess I had a different view of the car business because I came from the jewelry business. And I didn't want the dealership to be high-pressured. I wanted to be calm with art, no pictures of cars on the wall and that type of thing, so that I can breed some customer loyalty, you know? And I think that we've been able to accomplish that.
We've been the #1 Porsche dealership in the United States for a number of years and one of the largest Audi dealerships in the South. But one of the key components of who we are is our motorsports.
Champion Racing's winning record is not limited to the American Le Mans Series. The company's Speed World Challenge Audi team is the defending series champ. Theirs is a racing heritage grown out of a customer's interest in racing.
About 10 years ago, most of our customers were going to Daytona, Sebring, Grand Prix of Miami to see Porsches race. And since we were a large Porsche dealer, we got involved in a little way, and it grew from being a small operation to what it is today. I never thought it would have reached where it is today from what I started.
Throughout the team's 4-year quest for American Le Mans glory, their reputation for hard work was unsurpassed. That work ethic and attitude are handed down from the top.
Champion is a group of organizations. We have Champion Porsche, Champion Audi, Champion Motorsports, and Champion Racing. This whole umbrella of companies is basically Dave Mirage's dream, to have a group, an organization at this highest level and the same level that we race on during the weekend.
Without him, we wouldn't be here, we wouldn't be at the racetrack, for sure. He's definitely dedicated to racing, dedicated to motorsports, and dedicated to the dealership. He works as much as we do. He's in the office all the time. And without him, of course, we wouldn't have anything to go with today.
The team now has 2 wins and are in contention for the series title. Reasons for the team's success are clear and only mean there is more work to come.
A little bit of luck and a lot of hard work. Definitely a lot of hard work. And there's still a long way to go again, because some of our competitors, like Yost, are still very, very good, and they've been doing it much longer than us. So we still have a lot to learn. Dave
Mirage's team, J.J. Leto driving. Johnny Herbert started the car. They were 3rd. Transmission problems sent them behind the wall, just moving by the Amerisweeps. Riley and Scott 900 prototype there. Leto up in 4th overall. Next Saturday, 3:30 Eastern, 12:30 Pacific time. Join us here on NBC Sports for the Ford Adventure Sport Challenge. World's greatest outdoor adventurers put their bodies to the ultimate test. It's a world-class climbing competition and a 24-hour adventure race. The Ford Adventure Sport Challenge next Saturday, 3:30 Eastern, 12:30 Pacific, right here on NBC. About 16 minutes of racing left today at Mazda Raceway, Laguna Seca. Haven't missed anything. Werner leads overall. Leitzinger leads the 675s. Magnussen and Luhr's team at the top of the leaderboard in their categories as well. And we'll be back.
This is a man at the top of his power. And this is the man who will take his place.
You'll make Dan Barrington proud.
I plan to.
Inside Washington's most powerful law firm.
There's work to be done.
One good man refuses to give in. Rob Lowe is in the Lion's Den. Coming to NBC Sunday in 3 weeks.
Welcome back to Mazda Raceway, Laguna Seca on NBC Sports. Coverage of the Prize Electronics Sports Car Championships. With Bill Adam, I'm Rick Benjamin. A reminder, all the information on this great race series available 24/7 on our website, which is AmericanLeMans.com. Pictures from our Porsche aerial cam. Final 15 minutes of action, Bill Adam. Marco Werner, the Yost team, they've been out in front all day. 109 laps complete. And a 1-lap lead over the 675 prototype leader, Butch Leitzinger, James Weaver, Rob Dyson's car number 16. leading in GTS right now. One of the Pro Drive Ferraris, not a surprise. Thomas Enga and Peter Cox, their lead a lot bigger than it was a few moments ago because of an incident involving Jan Magnussen in the team car, the 80 car. Take a look at what happened as he came to the corkscrew.
Boy, oh boy, and right down the inside of Shane Lewis in that number 63. It looks like a case of two cars trying to fit through only enough space for one.
Scraped the mirror off the right side. Let's take a look from Magnussen's in-car camera.
Well, I'm turning it. You, Shane, I'm glad I wasn't talking to you at that point. Now let's get a look at Shane's angle. You can see if he has any idea. Look where he is turning in, and suddenly, wham!
Stop and go penalty, we're told, upcoming for Magnussen. Is that another case, Bill, where he just didn't see Magnussen when he turned into the corner?
You know what? I think really that was Shane's corner at that point, and Jan maybe should have backed off and let him have it. He thought that Shane was possibly giving him room. Shane did not have to. He had right at the corner.
And of course, the silver car, the Asemco car, runs in GT. A little slower car than the 550, the red number 80 car, which is in GTS and had a shot at winning the category here today at Laguna Seca. About $1.5 million worth of race cars went spinning into the dirt there.
Phenomenal. I mean, it's one of those things, too, that Jan was in the midst of that huge battle with Thomas Enga, his own teammate, and he certainly didn't want to let Enga go by, didn't want to let Enga get away, so he was pushing pretty hard. It was a gamble. It just simply didn't work.
Magnussen back on the gas hard now with just a few minutes to go. Less than 4 seconds the gap between Enga, who leads GTS and is 5th overall, and Magnussen, who's 6th overall, 2nd in the category. GT continues to be in control. Lucas Luhr, Sasha Massa Luhr driving the 23. And here comes the 80 onto pit road. Looks like they're going to make a last-second stop. Heavy damage to all 4 corners of both of these Ferraris. The Pro Drive bunch is going to have some work to do. Get those cars cleaned up and ready for Miami in 3 weeks.
I wonder if this is going to perk up the Corvette guys if they see all this taking place.
Ron Fellows is 3rd in GTS in the 3. Ollie Gavin is 4th in the 4 car in the class. Hiding up with Magnussen as he stops. Stop and go penalty. Through the gears. Looked like he's paying much attention to the pit road speed limit there.
Well, he was pretty good right till he got to the end, and then the foot goes down and it gets into wheel spin, just banging through the box. Marvelous sound out of that big V12.
And that penalty costing Magnussen the 15 seconds. He's
Yeah,
almost
I'm
20
sure that's going to cost him any chance of a win as well.
Much more coming your way on NBC Sports this fall. In fact, next Saturday at 4:30 Eastern, 1:30 Pacific, NBC takes you ringside the NBC Boxing Series, an action-packed card. One of boxing's brightest stars, 2000 Olympic silver medalist Rocky Juarez. His crippling body blows have already sparked 13 knockouts. He's a perfect 17-0. NBC Boxing Series comes your way next Saturday, 4:30 Eastern, 1:30 Pacific, only here on NBC. 10 minutes to go at Mazda Raceway, Laguna Seca, the Prize Electronic Sports Car Championships, and we'll be back.
Keep our highways beautiful. The 911 Carrera.
I have brown hair. I'll be in a black dress. How will I know you?
I'm 5'11" with graying, salt and pepper.
With brown hair.
Just for Men hair color rejuvenates hair. It's vitamin enriched. In 5 easy minutes, gray is shampooed away. It brings back a confident, natural look.
You look exactly like I imagined.
So, where do we go from here?
Your PC or mine?
Just for Men, the Rejuvenator.
The drama of NASCAR is on TNT. Next weekend, the superstars of NASCAR return to Loudon. It all starts next Friday with Bud Pole qualifying at 3. Then on Sunday, don't miss Winston Cup Racing live from Loudon, beginning with the Discover Card Countdown to Green at 12:30. The race for the 2003 NASCAR Championship is on TNT.
One of the most pretty scenes you'll find anywhere, the Monterey Peninsula, mid-California. Water, beaches, beautiful trees, Big Sur not far away. Just a pretty place to come and spend the weekend and watch the greatest sports cars in the world, the American Le Mans Series, here on NBC Sports. With Bill Adam, I'm Rick Benjamin. Our Porsche aerial cam, 9 minutes of racing to go. Your overall leader, the one car, Marco Werner, Frank Vila. Bill Adam, a couple of times this year, the Yost team has made a mistake. It's cost them a win. Doesn't look as though it's going to be that way here.
No, I think they're going to need one of those Air National Guard F-16s to go over and bomb the car for somebody else to win. They are perfect right now. He is driving so contentedly that he is following second in class, immediately ahead of a Butch Leitzinger in the Dyson car. Is just right ahead of Marco.
This is the car that's second among the 900 prototypes. David Salins and Olivier Beretta in the Panos Roadster, the 10 car. The JML team, their team car, car number 11, wrecked yesterday in the final practice. Couldn't make the green flag today. But let's take a look at the Porsche digital pilot telemetry here. Salins putting this car through its paces. They're 3 laps off the lead. They've had a very good day.
We talked earlier about this Panos LMP1 Roadster being an old male. It's already racked up 3 consecutive podiums in 3rd place, though. 2 for this car, 1 for the 11 car. And these guys are now looking, they say, not for a podium position, but for that position right in the middle of the podium. At the beginning of the season, you wouldn't have credited that they'd be disappointed with 3rd. Now they're disappointed if they don't get a challenge for an outright win. That's some measure of how much the confidence and the composure of this team has come along all year.
Well, the JML team going pretty aggressive in their setup, especially when it comes to tire choice. It's paid off, but they're not leading here today.
Yeah, they were talking too about something that's so important and yet not very often discussed, and that's the chemistry in the team. And they say that David Salins and Olivier Beretta get along so well, and they are so much fun with each other. That also contributes remarkable.
As with many racers, you do a lot of different things to pay the bills when you're working your way up. I don't know if I've ever met a racer at a top level who was a truck washer in his earlier days.
Oh, wasn't Johnny O'Connell a wine salesman?
I believe so.
Wide and varied interests. You do what you have to do.
Absolutely. That's what it takes to stay on the racetrack when you're struggling to make a name for yourself. Salins has done that. He's one of the most highly regarded road racers in the world, certainly doing a terrific job in the 10 car.
Yeah, he is so impressive. He's continuing to really stick his foot in it. Here you see him come off the corners, the car is getting sideways. And here he is near the end of the race, but he is still driving as hard as he can.
3rd overall, 2nd among the 900s. Traffic plays a part in those lap speeds if you're in the midst of slower cars. Hard to keep the pace up. Salins is 2nd in category and 3rd overall.
Looks like a motorcycle racer there. You just see the bend of his helmet. He's kind of leaning into the corners as he's going around here.
6 minutes of racing to go. Time for about 3, perhaps 4 laps of racing. As we take a timeout, let's show you the top 5 in the 900s. Leto is 3rd in the category. We'll be back.
One of the beautiful things about women is they don't sweat or smell like a guy. Our body chemistry is just different.
Introducing Arm & Hammer Ultramax Antiperspirant Gel.
It's made for a man's body chemistry.
Ultramax stops odor at the source. So strong, tests show it offers superior odor protection versus the leading gel at 8, 12, even 24 hours.
It's all the muscle a man needs.
New Arm & Hammer Ultramax Gel.
To help a child grow up, they sometimes need a gentle nudge.
You're moving out.
Mom? We love you so much.
Tuesday, a young man's journey to manhood
Cool pizza.
will end with the lady next door.
So as you can see, I have a new girlfriend. Where are your pants?
Happy Family premieres Tuesday, 8:30, 7:30 Central.
Back live at Mazda Raceway, Laguna Seca here on NBC Sports, the Fry's Electronic Sports Car Championships. 7th race of the season for the American Le Mans Series. 2 races to go. The streets of Miami at the end of this month, and then Petit Le Mans and Road Atlanta and Brazelton, Georgia in the month of October. Watching your overall leader from our Porsche aerial cam, Marco Werner in car number 1, Reinhold Jost's Infineon Audi. Down through the corkscrew. Looks a lot flatter from that overhead view, doesn't it, Bill?
It sure does. It gives you no idea that you're falling a couple of stories at that point. The car gets so light as it goes over the lip. And then right down here, it's just getting back to level playing ground.
675 prototype, a car that has 1 overall win earlier this year. In fact, the first time we were with you on NBC Sports. Butch Leitzinger from Pennsylvania. James Weaver from Great Britain. Cheering that the leader will get the checkered flag next time by. Still about 3.5 minutes of racing to go. I would think they would try to run 2 more laps. That may not be. Oh, one of the Panos is the Panos. Yeah, the GT. Joe Foster's 03 car off into the dirt.
A lot of steam coming out
there. The HyperSport team car.
I wonder if he just spun because he got in too deep, or if he spun in his own water. That's pretty unusual. Let him out of steam. There's more dust going off. Somebody else come on?
28th overall, 14th in GT for this machine.
Oh, well, yeah. Look at the bottom.
Steam everywhere.
Look right there. So he's going to spin in his own water. Oh.
Lots of it.
By geez.
You need rain tires to get around that corner.
You do indeed.
Tough day and a tough weekend for that HyperSport team. They've been struggling to get that Esperante GT car up to speed. They've worked on it. They've changed a lot of things, but not very competitive here today.
I would venture the crew chief is going to say, were you watching the temperature gauge at all?
You've heard that story before, I bet, haven't you?
I've been there, done that.
Watching car number 1 continuing to lead. 117 laps complete. They have been out in front all afternoon. Marco Werner just needs to keep it between the white lines. This would be their 4th win of the season for that team. They led all but a handful of laps run. And those laps they did not lead only when they were on pit road. It's been a flawless performance for the Yost Audi team here today.
And with them winning today and their closest competitor, champion ADT, coming in 3rd place today, this is getting a lot closer to putting a nail in the coffin for that championship.
GTS in the hands of Thomas Enga, sharing that 88 car with Peter Cox with the pro driver. Ferrari 550s in GTS. Again, a difficult weekend for the Corvette team. They have won everywhere but here at Laguna Seca. Now, last year, Johnny O'Connell had to bail out of the 3 car because it caught fire. At least that didn't happen this weekend.
That was pretty spectacular. The other thing, too, I can't believe that somebody hasn't hit that Ferrari mirror still sitting back in the corner. I saw it in the background. Amazing.
A minute and a half to go. Great Mazda Raceway, Laguna Seca. Watching the 88 there. 5th overall, leading GTS. One of the GT contenders, the 31 with Johnny Mollem. There's the Yes Network Porsche. The Olive Garden Ferrari and GTS. And there's your GT leader, the McKenna Alex Job Mail to Web Porsche.
He's being waved by the Olive Garden car. That's unusual. Maybe there's something not quite right with that 0, that green Ferrari.
Not a battle for position. The 0 is 11th overall with Emmanuel Naspetti. 5th in GTS. Lucas leading in GT, but 2 laps behind in the running order for the race. The GT leader is 12th overall. Here comes Werner. White flag last time around here at Mazda Raceway, Laguna Seca for Werner. And Frank Biela, who started the car, put it on pole here this weekend.
This is going to be his most boring lap of the day because he is going to be so cautious on this lap.
Leitzinger in car number 16, Rob Dyson, Stedford Northolt Goodyear car. 2nd overall for the 675 prototype, and they will win the class, it does appear, without much challenge. For Butch and James Weaver and that team, it's all about overall wins. They got their first one earlier this season at Infineon Raceway in Sears Point. Not quite quick enough here at Mazda Raceway.
Even for Biela and Werner, this is one of these situations today. It's like kissing your sister. It's nice, but to win by this much, by not having serious competition for people that you respect, it really takes a lot away from the victory celebration. You think, well, yeah, we did it. We were there at the end. And it's not gratifying like it can be.
Even when you dominate, lead all the way?
No, I mean, quite honestly, it does take a lot of the fun away because you don't get that tremendous sense of accomplishment. It's more for the team. The team built the car that didn't have a problem, so they get the great bragging rights at the end of the day.
One car with Marco Werner heading for their 4th win of the season. They'll take it easy. No need to pass anybody coming to the stripe. The 3 car in GTS running 9th overall. There's Leitzinger. He'll win 675. Checkered flag is in the air. Marco Werner and Frank Biela win the Fry's Electronics Sports Car Championships. GTS. Pro Drive Ferrari. The car of Thomas Enga, Peter Cox with a comfortable lead. They are 5th overall in that car. They've got a 25-second lead over their team's car, Jan Magnussen and David Brabham.
Yeah, and they are going to say finally, because after second place at Motorsport, after coming so close and being beaten by Johnny O'Connell in the Corvette, they get their first victory of the season as well. So excellent job by this pro-drive Ferrari.
Brabham and Magnussen won at Road America with the last lap pass. Now it's Thomas Enga and Peter Cox's turn. And heading to the checkered flag in GT, Lucas Luhr. Sasha Massen started the 23, and it'll be another victory for the Alex Joe McKenna Porsche team.
So father and son victory for the Luhrs.
Wow, that is something.
Excellent.
Flag waving over the entire field here at Mazda Raceway in Laguna Seca. When we come back here on NBC Sports as we watch the GT winner down through turn 2. And the rest of the field heading toward the checkered flag and then pit road. We'll talk to the winners here in the Monterey Peninsula. Keep it right here.
Let's circle back to Cincinnati with those figures. You know, I'm worried about Red Flag.
Oh no, it's off? Okay, I'll be right there. Guys, I gotta go.
I think we can achieve substantial more penetration in the Pacific Rim.
That's awful. Really sorry, but I have to go.
The new Boxster. It is perhaps the perfect getaway car.
Thank you.
Mr. Roberts. Mr. Roberts, your car is ready.
Wake up to real performance from Yokohama at a dealer near you.
If it's for the home, if it's for the office, if it's for life, it's at Fry's. Get this 17-inch CRT monitor for only $49.99 after mail-in rebate. Linksys wireless beam media adapter is now $179.99. This Hewlett-Packard 1-megapixel digital camera is a low $49.99. Remember, your best buys are always at Fry's. Guaranteed.
Sexy sports cars. Spectacular curves. The American Le Mans Series stars and cars from the world's greatest auto race. European style, American attitude. Don't miss the Petit Le Mans, October 15 through 18. To order tickets, call 1-800-849-RACE.
The American Le Mans Series Fry's Electronic Sports Car Championships have been brought to you today by Audi. In technology, performance, and design, our goal remains constant, never follow. And by Michelin, because so much is riding on your tires. Welcome back to Mazda Raceway in Laguna Seca. The checkered flag has fallen over the Fry's Electronic Sports Car Championships. Marco Werner and Frank Biela win the 900 prototypes, which Leitzinger and James Weaver finish second overall and win the 675 category. In GTS, one of the Ferraris, Thomas Enga and Peter Cox, Lucas Luhr and Sasha Massen, your GT winners. Let's go to Victory Lane and meet the overall winners. First, Jan Beekes.
And with some very cool and calm and collected characters here. Some days it's easy, and today it seemed like it was probably harder to keep your concentration with such a big lead, Marco.
One side was easy, the other side was difficult. We have no pressure, and then it's not a good concentration, and it's difficult. I mean, the job to Frank, he did a very, very good job in the practice. He gave us, or me, a very, very good position in the race, and okay, the other ones had a little bit mistakes, and that was a great day for us. I think that was a very, very good step for the championship.
And Frank, tell me a little bit about the beginning of the race, the start. You brought him up real slow, and everyone got kind of in a big bunch behind. Was that your strategy to try and get a jump?
I mean, in the end, when I saw them dropping back in the mirror, I felt good, of course, but it was not really the strategy. I mean, the thing is, they always tell us go as slow as possible or keep the speed the pace car was doing before. And then when the green comes, accelerate, and that's what I did. I don't know what the others' problem was. But of course, I felt quite comfortable in the first corner. But then it was full course yellow anyway, and it was everything back to normal.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
And let's take a look in GTS, how things panned out today. The two Ferraris, Enga wins in the 88, Magnussen and Brabham second, Fellows and O'Connell third, and the first of the two Corvettes. Down to Martin Haven.
New look to Thomas Enga in winner's circle, but Thomas, tell us about the little bad luck that you shaved off the other day.
Yeah, that's right. I had a little beer here underneath my this thing. I don't know how it goes. Actually, I took it off after the last race because the last two races it brought me bad luck, and actually, or brought us bad luck, and actually now the luck turned finally to our position, and we won the race. So thanks to the guys. Thanks to the Michelin, great tires, and I hope we can repeat that next two races as well.
Peter Cox, first 1-2 for ProDrive Ferrari on the scene of your first win here with the car last year. Must be the end of a good weekend for you.
Yeah, it's fantastic. I mean, I was very happy in Road America for the team. Obviously now I'm even happier because we are now on the podium on the top step, and I think also the guys at ProDrive in England, they gave us an edge with some new aerodynamic bits. And also, as Thomas said, I think we have to thank a lot Michelin because they gave us, I think, the tire to win the race here today.
Fantastic job from the ProDrive boys. Contact between the two of them, but they still got their 1-2 first in the North American continent.
Very impressive run. The 675 prototypes, Leitzinger and Weaver win the category. The 18 car comes home second with Scott Bradley. John Field's team third. Let's meet the winner, Jan Bikas.
With Butch Leitzinger, and Butch second today overall, but first in class. So is it a win or not?
Well, it pays like a win, so that's all right. But you know what we really came here for was to win overall. We really wanted to challenge the Audis, and you know we seem to have the pace, but just the way the race unfolded and a couple little breaks didn't work out for us. So you know it just wasn't our weekend. But it was a good sign because the car ran very well, and we were able to keep up with them and challenge them a little bit. So you know for the rest of the year we should be looking pretty good. Actually,
in the last stint, you were right ahead of the race leader, although you were second overall. So that give you some incentive to really keep the boil up?
Well, I didn't want to be humiliated on national television by getting lapped, in the last hour. So and I know James would never let me live that down, so I had to keep him behind me.
Great run.
Thank you.
Despite the fact that Weaver went into the tires at one point today. In GT, Lucas Luhr, Sasha Maassen, your winners. The Ferrari of Kelleners and Anthony Lazzaro, Johnny Mollem, and Craig Stanton come home third. Down to Martin Haven.
Lucas Luhr, your dad won in his class at the Nürburgring yesterday, and today it's your turn.
Yeah, today it's our turn. Sasha and we did a great race. The car was absolutely perfect. And I think if we won the championship today, and that's 2 races to go and still champion, so that's pretty good.
Not bad for an old guy. You started the weekend winning at golf. Lucas said you should retire and take up golf. What do you think?
Well, I don't think so. I have a great teammate, and I had great teammates at golf, so... but I still want to drive a little bit longer, so sorry, Lucas, I'm continuing.
There you go, guys. You heard it here first. No news upstairs.
Great teammates. They've had a ton of success. Here are how your points shake out. Our final NBC telecast of the season for the American Le Mans Series. Biela and Werner tied up top.
They look like they're pretty comfortable at this point, and I think for JJ and Johnny, they have to really hope for a breakdown on the next race in Miami to put it down to the final one at Road Atlanta.
Consistency has Chris Dyson in front of Duncan Dayton and John Field, teammates in the 675.
Very close battle that, and there's also a good battle going on here. You see Johnny and Ron are tied with a pretty substantial advantage over Kelly and Oliver. Kelly and Oliver, actually, they're thinking they're going through a piece of bad luck at this point. They want to change that.
In GT, Lucas Luhr, Sasha Maassen with a 40-point lead over their Alex Job teammates, Bergmeister and Bernhard.
And the unthinkable would have to happen here. Lucas and Sasha would have to break in both of the remaining races. That's almost impossible.
Well, it has been a joy being with you from Mazda Raceway, Laguna Seca. Hope to see you again next season. Hope you've enjoyed our coverage this year of the American Le Mans Series here on NBC Sports. A lot to come your way tonight as we salute the winners here in Victory Lane at Mazda Raceway, Laguna Seca. Biela, Warner, and Butch Leitzinger are there. The Pro Drive guys on hand collecting their hardware as well. Tonight on NBC, coming up at 7, 6 Central Time, it's Dateline NBC, followed by President Bush's speech, Law and Order Criminal Intent, and then Law and Order. So be sure and join us tonight here on NBC. It's been a great weekend. Hope you've enjoyed our coverage. For Bill Adam, Martin Haven, Jan Beekes, and Tracy Wolfson, I'm Rick Benjamin, saying so long from Monterey, California, and the Fry's Electronic Sports Car Championships. Once again, your overall winners, Marco Werner and Frank Biela. Thanks for being with us. You've been watching the American Le Mans Series on NBC Sports.